As we wrap third quarter and we look to beginning fourth quarter, everyone is going to be talking about there's still time. There's still time to achieve your goals, your objectives, to set intentions. There's still time to finish the year strong. And I agree with all that. There is still time. But what I want to challenge you to do is to take the time to assess where you are, to assess your goals, your intentions, your objectives, what you're trying to achieve, the direction that you're taking in life. There's still time to figure out who you are, where you are, and where you want to go. My name is Jennifer Mitchell Early. I help individuals and teams achieve organizational and personal success. If you want to follow me for more information about how to optimize your opportunities and to figure out where you want to go in life, then go ahead and please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload new content. I have been thinking lately, I've been thinking for some time, that time is of the essence in more ways than one. You know, we live in an age now where it's so easy to compare ourselves and our journey and where we are in life to everybody else because of social media. We spend so much time online and comparing where we think we should be as it relates to where we see someone else. And I just want to say, let's just stop. Let's stop and figure out who we are and what we want out of life. You know, life is tricky, and social media makes it, even for me, in my opinion, worse. There's so many landmines, there's so many triggers online, right? Because so many people are online, myself included. Lots of times when I come on, when I'm on camera, you know, I want to make sure that everything is perfect. I've thought about, you know, my hair and what I'm wearing and what I'm going to say, and perfecting, you know, scripting and all of those things so that I can present myself in a certain light, right? So I want to be a knowledge leader. I want to have credibility. I want to make sure that everything that I say is sound and factually accurate. So I put a lot of time and effort into the content that I put online. No differently than other people, than, you know, influencers and everyone else. They put a lot of time, and even our friends, they put a lot of time and focus and on appearance and how they're presenting themselves to you and to the world at large. And so, and even down from, you know, we take selfies, right, ladies? Even guys, let's keep it 100. You know, the angles. I am big on, hey, shoot me from a certain angle. My daughter is a commercial photography major. She'll be graduating this coming in May 2025. And I'm always like, listen, sis, you're supposed to be a photographer. I need you to hit me at a certain angle. Right? I need you to make it look a certain way. So I say all that to say that we all do that. And the trap of living out loud, as I say, and I've even scaled back myself personally in a lot of ways. Living out loud, there's a danger in seeing something and believing that that is real, that it's not. I'm not saying that when you contrive things, they're always bad, but we all contrive things. There's a level of production to everything that we do. And what I want to say to you is, as I've gotten older, and in particular last couple of years, as my parents have gotten older and my daughter has gotten older, I have realized the one thing that is most expensive, that's most easily wasted, is time. And so while we're pressing to finish the year strong and maximize the moments and opportunities before us and make sure that we are where we, you know, need to be, I just want to ask you, who set that standard? Did you set the standard of where you need to be? Who sets the standards of success? There are people who are working 9 to 5, making, you know, nice money, driving nice cars, living in nice houses, wearing nice clothing, but at what cost? There's a lot of people who, by the time they stop chasing after their dream or obtaining their dream, you stand back and, you know, maybe you have a relationship, maybe you don't. Maybe you have children, maybe you don't. Maybe your children are now grown. I took a day trip. Since the pandemic, my mother is in her late 70s. My father is in his early 80s. And during the pandemic, my father was really a little bummed about the fact that everything was shut down. They're very active. I'm very blessed. I've said it before, that some people are, trying to get their parents to be active. I'm trying to get my parents to slow down. You don't have to be at Menards or at the grocery store every week, but they're very active, and I'm very blessed because they are healthy enough to be active. But during the pandemic, my father lamented the fact that everything was closed down. The family trips that we were used to taking, we could no longer take. And I remember him saying to me, I want to travel while I still can, while I'm still able to travel. And a lot of us, I don't think about that. I don't think about the fact that I think about, hey, now it's not conducive. I need to do X, Y, and Z first. I need to get all this together first before I can make my next move. But what they've learned is that they have more time behind them than they have ahead of them. So they've learned to appreciate time. And because of the fact that we're so close and we spend so much time together, I am learning to appreciate time too. It doesn't hurt that I'm in my 50s. So I feel like, hey, 50, I'm 50-50. I got more time behind me than I have ahead of me. But I do realize that as my daughter has gotten older, like, I didn't think that her childhood would go so quickly. Of course, in your early 20s, you don't think that stuff went by quickly, but in your 50s, in your 70s, in your 80s, in your 90s, you realize how quickly time goes. I talk about how quickly, I'm in northeastern Ohio, how quickly the summer goes, right? I remember it being spring. I remember being excited about spring. I remember thinking about my yard and the yard work and planting my flowers and all that. And now I'm packing up. Now I'm preparing for fall and winter. So time is elusive. And what I want to ask you is, what makes you successful? A lot of you who are following me are looking to transition into another career. You're looking to bounce out of one area, potentially in education, into another, training and development. Or you're following me because you find words of inspiration, or you're following me because I've been in politics, or I've been, a professor or a manager or a leader or what have you. But what I want to ask you, in every hat that I wear, is who is setting the standards for success? Is it society at large, or is it you? Because as a type A overachiever, lightweight perfectionist, I can tell you that for a long time, my standard of success was determined by what I saw out in the world, what I saw my friends doing, what I saw was glorified out in the world, especially in corporate America and politics. I was in politics for 15 and a half years. So that was what I thought was successful. When you rise up the ranks and your face is in the place everywhere, and you're influential and you have some power, that's what I thought was successful. And I'm not saying that it's not successful. What I'm saying is that my standard for success has changed. And I'm grateful that when I was successful and I had my daughter, I realized that she was a priority. So when I had my daughter, I left my job because I did not want to miss those, initially I didn't want to put her in daycare as an infant. I didn't want to miss moments like her first word, or her crawling, or her walking. And then it became, I didn't want her formative years until she could form a sentence and tell me, hey, and understand, this is what happened to me, this is what somebody did to me, any of those things. I was going to stay home with her. So therefore, I walked away from, a flourishing career. I was a banking center manager. I was on my way up. I was in politics. I was a council person at the time. I had just left my council position right before I had her. Could have gone back into it. And I realized that she was more important than anything else. And if I could do something while she was in school, like I was a substitute teacher, I did a lot of things, as long as I could do them after 9 a.m. when she was on the bus, and I would be done by 3 p.m. when she got off. I was here to put her on the bus. I was here to get her off the bus, and that was what was important to me. And now, years later, even though my friends that I watched, that we were like on parallel tracks when we graduated, I saw them continuing to ascend the ladder, to go up higher and higher, and I just plateaued. And if I listen to society, and if I listen even to myself, my own self-talk, my own self-worth at the time was wrapped up in the fact that I was successful. I was like a rising star, as I had been described. To now be a stay-at-home mother and watch other people continue on with their life and mine feel at the time stagnant. Now looking back, having lived a little bit longer, I talk about life being a journey. Having lived a bit longer, I would not trade that time for anything. I have always been a stable force for my daughter. And at the times that I've jumped back into the workforce and realized that corporate America doesn't really care about you being a parent or your family life, or at the time I was a single parent. They don't care about that. They care about the needs being met. They don't even really care about your health. I know I have worked at companies where people on the intranet, the interweb within the company that you log into in the morning on your system, will talk about someone who passed away. And then weeks later, they're introducing the person to replace that individual. Life goes on. Tonight, the sun is going to set and tomorrow's going to come back up again. And we unfortunately know that because of what we just recently went through and the millions of people that we lost. Guess what? Life goes on. People are out as if it never, ever happened, despite the fact that there are fragmented families all over the world because of the pandemic. So I just wanted to quickly, I was just thinking today as I go through things I want to get accomplished and things I need to do and make my mental checklist and sometimes my physical checklist to keep myself on task. I have to stop and say that I'm really grateful. I'm really blessed. I still have my parents. And to circle back to my dad, who said, I want to still be able to do things when I'm able. Every week, I take him and my mother on an adventure. They don't know where we're going. I tell them, here's the date that we're going. This is what time you need to be at my house, down to what you wear. This is what you wear. And they like to guess to see if they know where they're going. And my goal has been to show them something new every time. If it's someplace they've been before, to give them a new perspective. A lot of times we have been going, even in the wintertime, even when it's cold or rainy or the weather is inclement, we still find somewhere to go that they have never been before. And I'm realizing that for me in this season of my life, that is success. Spending time with my parents, being here for my daughter. This morning, my daughter called me and she was not feeling well. She's at school. And she wanted to know how she could be taken care of, like where she could go medically, how the insurance worked, all those things. So I walked her through our teledoc, our teledoc provider, and how to use the system, how to download the app and all those things. And recently got a text message about the prescription she picked up. We even had some issues with the prescription versus generic and all of those things. And you know what? At this juncture in my life, that is success. Being here for my family, being here for my daughter. I refuse to live with regrets. There'll always be a job. I'm employable. I have 3 degrees. I have a, wonderful skill set. I have my own, company, my own endeavors. I can do project work. And when I'm done with the project work, I have downtime. This is a lifestyle that may not be conducive for everyone. But I'm grateful to God that He's shown me that it's been conducive for me for the purposes that I set, for the things that I realize are a priority and are important to me. So while you still have time, while we're ending 3rd quarter and we're going into 4th quarter, by all means, go full speed ahead. You still have time left in this year to accomplish everything that you set out to do. The only thing that I'm asking you to do is to really think about, when you obtain your goals, when your intentions are manifest, is that really what you wanted? Has that achieved the end result? Do you feel like this was time well spent? Because what you will not get back at the end of this quarter or at the end of this year is the time that's already elapsed. We won't get this time back. So the most important thing to me, and hopefully to you, is to make sure that you are maximizing your time, that you are spending it well, that you are loving and laughing and experiencing and making memories and being in the moment, that this time is well spent, because you will never ever get this time back. And as we already know, tomorrow is not given, it's not promised, it's not for sure. The only thing that we know is that right now, in this moment, we have this moment. That's what we know. That's what's concrete. That's what's tangible. And so I just want to encourage you that as we talk about our mental health, and we look forward to transitioning and doing better and being better, that we don't miss those obvious things, the times with our family, the times with our friends, the times with ourselves, to make sure that we're good, so that we can continue to make sure that the people that we love are good. So stop comparing yourself. Stop, looking at other things thinking, dang, if only I had this, if only I had that. Be grateful for what you have, because everything that you need, you have right now. And sometimes we overlook that. We're so busy looking into the future that we can't appreciate what we have in the present. So those are just my thoughts for today, as I also have to remind myself sometimes daily, because when you have a type A personality, when you are a go-getter, sometimes just being able to breathe and woosah and have peace in life seems like you're missing something, right? Because you're always busy running after things and putting out fires and being everybody's everything. And so when you have a minute where you can actually woosah, where you can actually think and have a moment of peace, we sometimes take those moments for granted and believe that we're not doing enough. No, you're doing enough. You're right where you're supposed to be. And in these moments, it's important to not only understand that and embody that, but to take advantage of that. It's third quarter, everybody. We're shifting into fourth quarter, and that fourth quarter, as you know, always goes fast. What are you going to do with the time that you have? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.